The Islamic domination of the US is seen by the Muslim Brotherhood as the Holy Grail. Like their expansion into Europe and Asia, the Brotherhood has a very specific agenda for undermining the US political system. They use the same playbook as they have in Europe and elsewhere, sending representatives across the US, which they see as a morally decayed nation and ripe for achieving their goals. Nidal Mohammed Sakr was placed by the Muslim Brotherhood inside the US and has been here for years. Nidal was recruited by Abdullah Azzam, a mentor of Osama bin Laden and a co-founder of Al-Qaeda. He recruited him into a paramilitary cell that conducted terrorist operations against Israel. Nidal was personally acquainted with Osama bin Laden.
Hi guys, this is Sahar TV, and in today's video we're watching Ami Horowitz going to the Muslim Brotherhood leaders in Turkey and different Middle Eastern countries to see what their plan is and how they're involved with America and the West. And the findings that he found will blow your mind. Let's watch.
The Muslim Brotherhood is an organization that began in the 1920s in Egypt as a religious and social organization. It has over the years metastasized to become the largest global Islamic organization in the world, with branches in dozens of countries. It has representatives in various governments and leadership in social and charitable organizations around the world. Its stated goals are to spread Islam and the word of the Quran throughout the world, with the ultimate objective being the creation of a global caliphate. While the Muslim Brotherhood has had people in the field around the world for many years, the center was Egypt, where it took political power after the fall of Mubarak. After the Brotherhood fell in a coup, much of its leadership dispersed around the world, greater globalizing their influence. I traveled to Cairo, Beirut, Istanbul, and elsewhere to meet with Brotherhood leaders and to get a better sense of their plans and goals. While the branches of the Brotherhood are geographically and politically diverse, their ideological goals remain constant, with clearly definable goals. While the Muslim Brotherhood is dispersed throughout the world, one of its centers of power is here in Turkey. We were able to get an interview with Ashraf Abdel Ghafer, a major Muslim Brotherhood leader based in Istanbul. Does the Brotherhood share an underlying ideology?
Of course. All of us share an underlying ideology which comes from Islam. You have this ideology, you have the group to fulfill the condition of this ideology, which is in Algeria or in Chad or in Berlin or in Malaysia, in Finland, in America, in Russia, in Mozambique, in South Africa, and everywhere is the best for everyone.
We're talking about a group that has as its ultimate goal an Islamic state that dominates the whole world. All the groups that claim belonging to the umbrella of the Muslim Brotherhood share this common ideology.
The Muslim Brotherhood have aggressively tried to expand their global influence by sending an unknown amount of proxies into countries around the world. Dr. Mohammed Akram Adluni is a Muslim Brotherhood leader with whom I have corresponded with by phone, email, and text over 50 times during the past 12 months. He wrote an extremely influential memo that lays out the Brotherhood's goals and strategies, both across the West and in the US specifically. The Ikhwan, Muslim Brotherhood, must understand that their work in America is a kind of grand jihad in eliminating and destroying the Western civilization from within.
But I thought it had to do with Israel, no? It's got nothing to do with the West. The Muslims hate America because of the connection to Israel. So why doesn't it talk about this?
And sabotaging its miserable house by their hands. Of all the nations in which they operate, the Islamic domination of the US is seen by the Muslim Brotherhood as the Holy Grail. Like their expansion into Europe and Asia, the Brotherhood has a very specific agenda for undermining the US political system. They use the same playbook as they have in Europe and elsewhere, sending representatives across the US, which they see as a morally decayed nation and ripe for achieving their goals. Nidal Mohammed Sakr was placed by the Muslim Brotherhood inside the US and has been here for years. Nidal was recruited by Abdullah Azzam, a mentor of Osama bin Laden and a co-founder of Al-Qaeda. He recruited him into a paramilitary cell that conducted terrorist operations against Israel. Nidal was personally acquainted with Osama bin Laden. Nidal now lives in the gorgeous and sun-soaked Huntington Beach, California, in a condo a few blocks from the ocean. He escaped into the US after being sentenced to death by an Egyptian court for allegedly murdering a police officer. He is now free to frolic on the beach and call for the killing of President Trump, as he did in October of 2017.
The way Muslim Brotherhood exists and operates is the following. They do have those general guidelines and approach and school of thought. However, each chapter deals with its own realities and challenges and very specific circumstances. Like, for example, in the US is different than, for example, the UK or France or some other places. So you operate from within, like, the environment that you're in a way that's most fit.
You work from within the system
From within
to
the
rise
system,
up.
from within the system.
How successful is that approach right now?
It's very, very successful.
Is democracy a good tool to help create and grow Islam around the world?
Why not? Why not? I don't think there is any morals in America. If you say and don't practice, there is no morals.
So is Islam in America the solution to this problem?
In America, what is the problem? Islam is a solution for everywhere. Why? Because there is a standing morals.
Is one of the goals of the Muslim...
Totally moral to oppress women, right? Totally moral. Totally moral. It's totally moral to marry 6-year-olds and then consummate the marriage when they're 6. Totally moral. Totally moral to kill the people or fight the people who think Islam is not the religion for them, the kuffars. Totally moral to impose jizya on the people who choose to not embrace Islam. Totally moral.
Brotherhood to actually overthrow the United States?
Yeah, definitely.
The U.S. has been a target of the Brotherhood for many years. Many of its members founded some of this country's largest Islamic organizations, including CARE, the Islamic Society of North America, the Muslim Student Association, Students for Justice in Palestine, the Muslim American Society, among many others. While some of these groups deny current involvement with the Muslim Brotherhood, many of the same founders are still involved with these organizations, and they seem to share the same philosophical underpinnings of the Brotherhood. The Muslim American Society, which has 42 chapters in schools across America, recently released this incredibly disturbing video on their Facebook page from one of their schools in Philadelphia. Is there affiliations between the Brotherhood
It's already happening on American soil. Oh boy, you guys are cooked.
and, let's say, the U.S. Islamic institutions like CARE and the Muslim American Society? Do they work together?
They are carrying the same ideas.
CARE, the American...
Yeah. They're carrying the same ideas.
Their core organization still has, in a sense, these ties. And with people from the Muslim Brotherhood, they host Brotherhood, official Brotherhood representatives in their conferences that they hold inside the United States. So these guys are Brotherhood. It's very clear that there is a tie.
I was born here in the U.S. and,
You were born in the U.S.?
I was born in the U.S. and
Was the accent Southern?
No, I was born Northeast. I was born in Providence.
They matured in the sense of developing the best language to talk to Westerners, especially people on the left, where they frame their problems as one of struggle against imperialism, against Western domination, using terms that are acceptable to the leftist Western mind, basically.
How closely is the Brotherhood working with the leftist and liberal organizations?
They're my backers and they're my defenders in political circles.
So the left really, you have an alliance with the left in the United States?
The left will be natural ally, of course. They were our backers and supporters and actually coalition partners. I mean, now Republican Party actually is basically Heil Hitler kind of party, you know.
Of course, the left would be a strong ally of the Muslim Brotherhood. At the end of the day, they need them so they can chant Islamophobia, you know, and chant you bigot, you racist, to scare people to talk openly about the ideology of Islam. They need them. They're using them as tools.
Worse than the Jewish pro-Israeli in some ways.
The Holy Land Foundation was once the largest Islamic charity in the United States. Its supposed organizational mission was to fund humanitarian programs for Arabs in the Palestinian territories. In reality, It was a front organization for the Muslim Brotherhood to help finance Hamas's terrorist activities. In 2009, the founders of the organization were given sentences of between 15 and 65 years in prison for funneling $12 million to Hamas. Among the unindicted co-conspirators listed by the prosecution was a who's who of major U.S. Islamic leadership, including CARE, the Islamic Society of North America, the North Islamic Trust Fund, and many others. Even multicultural Europe is waking up. In 2015, the British government, alarmed at the radical influence of the Muslim Brotherhood, ordered a governmental review of its beliefs, goals, and activities in Great Britain. Its conclusions were alarming. The Muslim Brotherhood has been willing to use violence and terror. They defend suicide bombers and the killing of civilians. The Muslim Brotherhood in the West uses doublespeak, softer language in English, and delivering a radical and violent message in Arabic. They have a significant influence on the largest UK Muslim student and national organizations, ultimately concluding that the Muslim Brotherhood's ideology and tactics are contrary to British values and in conflict with its national interests and security. One of the pillar Muslim Brotherhood.
They presented a peaceful language in English and a violent one in Arabic. I wonder why. If you want to appeal to the left of the world, you have to speak in their language. But if you want to speak to the people who's going to carry out the jihad and the preachings, you do it in the native Arabic language, in a violent manner.
Beliefs is an embrace of violence and terror. They not only advocate for terrorism, but their franchises have engaged in terror around the world. Hamas, one of the world's leading terrorist groups, is a direct offshoot of the Muslim Brotherhood. With full support from the Brotherhood leadership, Hamas is one of the most prolific terror groups in the world, and is not the only Brotherhood branch of terror. Qassam and Liwa al-Thawra in Egypt, Isla in Yemen, and Hizb al-Watan in Libya.
How can you call that terrorism? I mean, that's heroism, actually. Heroism.
All the groups that...
And he lives in America. He's an American citizen. He aligns with the left. You know, that they cooperate together, and he didn't call it terrorism. He called it heroism. Oh boy, I wonder what's going to happen when they do these types of heroism acts on American soil. Guys, you need to understand, the Muslim Brotherhood is driving fast to the front of your home. Fast. In ways you're not seeing. First of all, the birth rates are insane. They're bringing more and more children to the world. So by 2050, 2060, you're going to have a lot more Muslims than you have today. The average white person brings a lot less babies to the world. So who do you think is going to beat you in that race? The Muslims. Also, they're completely abusing the made-up term Islamophobia to make you think that you are not allowed to criticize Islam. It's perfectly fine to criticize Christianity, perfectly fine to criticize Judaism or Hinduism, but Islam? No, you can't do that, because if you do that, you're a bigot. You're a bigot. You can't do that. They're using that as well. So they become immune, untouchable. It's absurd. I'll attach the full video of Ami Horowitz in the link in the description below. I'll see you in the next video. This is scary stuff, guys. Bye-bye. If you'd like to watch more of my stuff, please check out my channel down below. If you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit that notification button so you can be notified every time I upload new content. If you'd like to support me and the channel financially, you can do that using Buy Me Coffee or Patreon down in the links below. Also, we now have a Discord that you can join down in the link below. And now you can become a YouTube member and enjoy specific YouTube perks. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.